Hello, welcome back to Pominos. I hope we're all doing really well. If you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a subscribe. It does mean the world to me. We're really smashing out subs at the moment, and that is grouse to hear. So welcome to you. If you are a returning Pominoser, g'day. I hope we're all enjoying the start of the week after Carlton won. So for what we do, 3 games left, let's look at the blokes we haven't seen yet. And I thought that would be quite an interesting exercise. We'll see what they're doing and we'll see what they're about. So the first one we're going to look at is me boy, big Corey Durdin. So, I mean, obviously 19 years old, 0.6 goals this year, 2.6 marks and 4 tackles. Someone that I really hope to see towards the back end of the year. I know we've only got 3 games to go, but we know I've been a huge advocate of Josh Honey. We talked about him 2 years ago. Not many people were even discussing. In fact, no one actually published anything about him. And I said he was one of the punts that I would take for a rookie pick or a late pick. And Corey Durdin is basically Josh Honey on steroids and a lot more. A lot smaller though, but he brings that manic pressure. You can see here by his heat map where he naturally oscillates around where I'd expect him. He can work as that conduit between midfield and half forward and the full forward line, but he's an exceptional player when the ball hits the deck. Real high pressure based player, really manic tight pressure as well. He really gets in vicinity, puts a lot of pressure on the rebound 50. He's got really exceptional skills when the ball hits the deck. Really evasive, a real tricky customer, an elite type crummer and goal sense. And he'd definitely be someone that I would be looking at bringing in ASAP because Owies at the moment has been real successful for us. These type of players I think will go up a gear, particularly Corey Durdin, his temperament, what he's about. He's an AFL player, he's not a VFL player. And I think someone who can give a couple of games continuity to him, get him to get that taste, get a bit of hunger, you watch out and see what he can do. An absolute specialist at his craft for me and a real underrated player and someone that I predict will hit the ground really running, really quickly and really fast. Another guy we're going to look at is Jack Carroll. Now, this guy here, 18 years old, natural midfielder inside and outside. He's been deployed a little bit across half forward as well for Carlton. 13.7 disposals, 3.7 marks and 3.7 clearances. And he's the modern day midfielder. One of the youngest players in his draft age. He just made the cut. Super strong aerially. He's got an exceptional high IQ as well. Real good reader of play. Super clean in traffic. I don't think we'll see him this year. I think it's a little bit too early for me, Jack Carroll, but he's an exceptional talent. Tough to see where you'd bring him into the side. Potentially there is a role for him there floating like a lot of them players do on the wing, on the ball and then across half forward. Definitely someone that I see taking Mark Murphy's spot in the years ahead. Real clean footballer. This guy is a jet and I guarantee you when we redo the draft from last year, you'll see why a lot of clubs made a mistake. An absolute jet of a footballer though. Really clean, really good skills, really good build as well. Once he gets a bit of meat on them bones, it's going to be an elite player. Sam Ramsay up next. Now this guy's been playing predominantly on the inside of midfield. 20.4 disposals, 3.9 marks, 3.9 inside 50s and only 20 years of old. He's been on the list a while now and he's really starting to develop. The VFL form has been absolutely impeccable. He's got a huge engine and a real good turn of pace with that. And that two-way running, which is so important nowadays. He really hits the spaces well, the gaps that form in the midfield around the contest. Really good at getting away from them. Kind of Dangerfield-like in the terms of his initial burst is super quick and really hard to track down. He gives himself that time to use the ball well. It's a real flat kick as well, real penetrating. You've seen with Sard and Lockie O'Brien in the last couple of games how important that kick is inside 50 and he's a good user. He's definitely someone that Carlton want to get playing as soon as possible, particularly, you know, I think there's a role for him and I think there's someone that I would be looking to bring in sooner rather than later. It's a tough midfield though to crack at the moment. It's quite settled. But maybe against a team like Gold Coast, you may want to give Ed Kerno a rest and throw this guy in. See what he can do. He's a real top-end talent as well. Real hungry, real mongrel type football as well. Really high tackle numbers from him. And the final guy we're going to look at, and there's been no stranger here that this guy will debut at some point, is Brodie Kemp. Now you can see here 20 years of old, but technically you've got to see him as a first year player. Third tall he usually plays as, or he plays across the halfback. He has been trialled as well, just playing in the key roles. At 193 and growing, there is a real chance there. Now, predominantly for Bendigo, and in his junior years, he was a backman who did float occasionally in the forward line. Did have a couple of games in that midfield before injury as well. Someone that will definitely probably be touted to go further forward. But I think there's a role here, you know, maybe playing in that Liam Jones mode, that third toe. Super strong in the air. 15.3 disposals, 5.6 marks, 3.4. He can play on the tall guy, but he can also play on the small guy. And his intercepting ability is absolutely criminally underrated. He's a phenomenal athlete as well. Real high intelligence in his IQ. He attacks the ball really hard. And he makes it difficult when the ball hits below his feet. It's a skill that's really grown in this year in the VFL. He's a really talented user as well. Really looks to find that pass. Loves the switch as well. Really, he's one of these conduits you can use in the back line. This is someone that I'd expect to definitely see towards the end of the season. There's a real opportunity for someone like him, and it gives you that outlet. He's a really talented footballer, really strong, really versatile as well. I think you're going to not see him in the midfield probably for 2 years, if at all, because the way Carlton's forward midfield is going, maybe a tough cookie to crack at the moment. But this guy could really be something, particularly if they start to float him forward a little bit in VFL, which they have been alluding to. They have started to do it every so often. This guy is a real jet. He could be like the modern day Levi Casbolt, but on steroids in football terms. This guy is a really, really exceptional footballer. Criminally underrated. Was one of the top prospects before injury. That's how good he is, and that was a good draft class. This kid is a talent, and I am looking forward to seeing it, but I think at the moment, play him down back behind the ball. He's an exceptional reader, real strong as well, really uses his body well, and can play on really, really tough cookies. I know in training they've been playing him with Liam Jones, playing him against Levi Casbolt, Harry Mackay, and if you're playing on them kind of guys, particularly Harry, you're really going to get a fast track to success, because some of the top key defenders in the comp struggle with him. And a lot of the top teams now are trying to have one of them smaller key defenders. Potentially, if you had these two at fullback and centre-half back, Wheater and him, you've got a real threat for the next 10 years. An absolute dynamite jet and a real top-end talent. So they're the 4 guys that haven't debuted yet, who are fit and available. Let me know who you're looking forward to seeing. I'm really looking forward to seeing the Durds and Kemp. I think Corey Durdin is really going to change the game and also be kind of that fitting when we missed out on Papley. He's a real talent and a real cog in the way the modern day game's going. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let's have a chat. Till next time, Pommy out.